Colonel Pabs says, just got back fishing with me dad. I don't know why Colonel Pabs is from Yorkshire. He is. Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to public holidays. Specifically, at this time of year, the United States is celebrating something known as Labor Day. But what is Labor Day? When I first moved to the United States, that was about the 67,000th question that I had. Upon hearing it, I assumed that all Americans must just be born on the same day, but that wasn't it. I came to find out that Labor Day is a holiday that we celebrate on the first Monday in September, recognizing the contributions of the labor movement and workers. That's the short answer, but how did it come about? How do most Americans celebrate it? And who drank all of my charcoal lighter fluid? Was it Andy? Yeah, tell him I'll have a word. We need that this weekend, Pratt. Now, before I answer those questions, let me provide some context about my own country's involvement with this holiday. My own country doesn't have any involvement with this holiday. While many countries do have International Workers' Day, in the UK, May Day is an unrelated celebration of fertility. And I've just realised that since the words fertility and labour have deeper connections, perhaps Labor Day could be celebrated 9 months later. Speaking of which, let's take a look at how America's Labor Day was born. The exact precise origins of America's Labor Day are not fully known, but some historians surmise that it might have been inspired by Canada. And that's because in the 1880s, a whole decade before the United States would follow suit, Canada introduced a national holiday called Labor Day. And yes, I did just pronounce it with a U. Old habits die hard. At the heart of this, just as in the United States, was the growth at that time of trade union and labour movements. But why were people so up in arms in the first place, apart from the crap working conditions and the rubbish pay and the fact that people were working 10 hours a day for 6 days a week? The term Labor Day without a U was first used around that time by organisers of the first Labor Day parade in New York City. Soon after, as is often the case in the United States with these sorts of things, individual states started to embrace the idea. Oregon was first, making it a public holiday in 1887. By 1894, 29 other states had followed suit. It was during that very year that Labor Day first became the federal holiday we recognize today, when it was signed into law by 24th President Grover Cleveland, who history notes looks suspiciously like 22nd President Grover Cleveland. But there's a catch, you see. My man Grovclev, which is my terrible shortening of Grover Cleveland, made it so that only federal workers could take the day off, which would have seemed like the irony of ironies, particularly for mongers who worked with iron. In the 20th century, this changed, meaning that all workers in the United States got Labor Day off, except for the millions that didn't because their company mandated otherwise. So now, in 2020, how do Americans and people like myself who live in America celebrate Labor Day in a cupboard with a cup of hot milk? That's my own example, because we're in a pandemic. But ordinarily, how would I celebrate it? Well, there's something to keep in mind with Labor Day that's not true of, say, the 4th of July. Because it happens on a Monday, you're guaranteed a 3-day weekend. See previous disclaimer about certain businesses. And being from Britain, I can relate to this because we have what is known as bank holidays, the majority of which fall on a Monday. So I suppose in many ways, even though Britain doesn't have an equivalent of Labor Day, practically speaking, is the holiday to which I most relate. Except Thanksgiving, because, food. And because it forms a long weekend known as the Labor Day weekend, people in the United States are prone to taking trips around this time of year. For me, at this time of year, the wife and I usually pack our bags and head off to a mountainous nation known as West Virginia. And it could be because I'm English, but I notice that absolutely nobody is talking about the fact that the world's largest teapot is located in West Virginia, a state shaped like a teapot. Anyway, we primarily go there to visit my wife's extended family high up in the Appalachian Mountains. They're not wolves, these are actual human beings who live there. It's insane. and they're very nice, and they serenade us each Labor Day weekend with bluegrass music, which was, I believe, introduced to the United States by Scottish immigrants back in the day. So more British connections, which makes it even weirder that West Virginia stands alone in the east of the United States as not having a designated sister city in the United Kingdom. More on that soon. And I'm not alone. Under ordinary circumstances, millions of Americans travel over this weekend to be with extended family or just to take a vacation. Earlier today, I posed the question in my YouTube community, how are you spending yours? Here are some of the responses. Colonel Pabs says, just got back fishing with me dad. I don't know why Colonel Pabs is from Yorkshire. He is. Deborah says, home today, waiting for the Kentucky Derby/Derby. And Joshua says, I'll be labouring. Oh, I'll be working. Do you want me to have a word with your company? Joshua, of course, is not alone. My first job in the United States was in customer service. This meant that I had to work on Labor Day and the 4th of July and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Boxing Day. They don't celebrate Boxing Day here. And one of the reasons that I had to work on Labor Day is because of something known as Labor Day sales. This is a time when companies offer discounts during the weekend, often to tie in with the fact that children are going back to school. So you'll have back to school discounts on things like shirts, compasses, calculate. Do kids still use these things? I have no idea. I have a cat. And according to some retailers, it is the second largest sale date of the year, behind Black Friday. Personally, I prefer Cyber Monday because you don't have to go anywhere and endure crowds. And secondly, I'm an android. For anybody moving to the United States once the pandemic's over, just know that there are two definitions of summer. There's the official definition of summer that we all know and love, and then there's the unofficial definition of summer, which is this, that summer starts with Memorial Day and ends with Labor Day. So that's it. Just like that, summer is over. And I haven't been outside since March. I'd love to tell you that's the reason that I don't have a tan, but the real reason is I'm English. That's it for this episode of Lost in the Pond. I hope wherever you are, you have a very peaceful Labor Day, or if you're up in Canada, Labor Day, and I'll see you for my next video after that. I'm Lawrence Brown. You can follow me on Twitter at Lost in the Pond US. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. A big shout out to all of my patrons who make these videos possible. If you would like to become a patron today and support the work that I do right here on Lost in the Pond, you can do so at patreon.com/lostinthepond. Until next time, cheerio.